Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Sunday, so it is magazine review video day. Today we are on the June/July 1986, and this is a follow-up to Wrestlemania 2. And I gotta be honest, I am filming this video for the second time because the first time I filmed it, I spent about 12 minutes talking about how horrible my video was. Well, why did I do that? Because going through this magazine, there was literally nothing for me to talk about in this magazine. You guys know when I buy these magazines, I have never once gone through a single page. So when I do these reviews, it is always the first time I ever touch any of the inside of these pages. So it's nice that you guys get to see the inside of these pages for the first time with me. But it's also kind of sucks because I don't know what to expect and I don't know how much to talk about sometimes. And now that I've gone through this magazine, literally nothing to talk about. So the one thing I can bring up, as we see, this is the follow-up or the aftermath to WrestleMania 2. I did actually bring out the WrestleMania 2 Coliseum home video. So I kind of brought this out because in WrestleMania 2 1986, I'm sorry. So 1986, one of the things that the WWF was doing differently this year is they actually had 3 different venues while promoting this promotion, right? So 3 different cities in Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York City. And that was different. That was actually pretty incredible. And normally, obviously, when you have any type of pay-per-view event, whether it's SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, etc., you're going to have one general location. You're going to have it based out of New York, Las Vegas, Nevada, Chicago, Rosemont, Horizon, etc. So having it filmed on location in 3 different areas, the amount of cameras and to have the different venues set up, and it was crazy. So I'm surprised they were actually able to make this as successful as they did. And to fill the arenas, I mean, insane. But kind of looking at the roster of matches, I mean, this wasn't actually very good at all. So obviously the main event was Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy in a steel cage match. That obviously the main event, no doubt about it. The Battle Royal, that was incredible. That was obviously a highlight. Roddy Piper versus Mr. T, not really. Maybe. You could look at the Intercontinental match of Macho Man versus George Steele. Not really. I don't really look at that as an exciting match. Based on the other matches in this card, it's definitely one of the higher echelon matches I would probably say I would be interested in, but not one I would really gravitate towards. Outside of Hogan versus Bundy, I say the only other one that really interests me based on this card is the tag team match of the Dream Team versus the British Bulldogs. Outside of that, I mean, Kirchner versus Nikolai would probably give me a little bit of interest. Maybe Paul Orndorff versus Don Morocco possibly, but that's about it. I mean, this is a very weak lineup from WrestleMania 2, so. And I've talked about it in the past where I tried watching all the WrestleManias, and I tried watching WrestleMania 1, and I got through about 45 minutes of that tape, and I'm like, I can't stomach it anymore. I watched about 45 minutes, and I was just so bored out of my mind that I'm like, I'm done. And that was months and months and months ago, and I have not come back to it. And I might have to start from scratch and go back to the very beginning again. So but I've got about the first, I don't know, I think about the first 8 WrestleManias. So at some point, I got to go back and actually watch all of the WrestleManias from start to finish, so I could kind of recap and actually know and refresh, history. So when I do my videos, I can actually have that knowledge, right? But yeah, just those early WrestleManias, no, that was crazy. Oh man, cover of this magazine, really solid. But you get on eBay and you're bidding on this, you might bid it up to $20, $25, $30 for a magazine like this, maybe. But you're bidding on the year. Vintage 1980s magazine. You're paying for the year. You're paying for who's on the cover. That's it. As I said, guys, kind of going through this magazine, unfortunately, there was not a lot in this magazine to actually talk about. So this might be a quick 12 to 15 minute video compared to other magazines reviews where they usually hover around 20 to 22, maybe 25 minutes, because even the pictures are, they're so-and-so. But I'll try to spend a little bit more time and let you guys at least go over the pictures and kind of see what's happening, page by page. What is the Slammy Awards? I keep hearing people talk about the Slammy Awards. I don't know what that is. Is that in here? Page 46. I might pause on that Slammy Awards because I need to see what that's all about. Terry Funk. So Terry and Haas Funk, and they squared off against Tito and Junkyard Dog. That just seems like a very boring match. I know a lot of people love Terry Funk. I've never seen him wrestle to my knowledge. I don't know who Haas Funk is. Junkyard Dog, I mean, he could be interesting. Tito Santana, I'm not a fan, so I don't know. Maybe if I go back and watch some old matches of Terry Funk, I might be a fan. So, but I've never seen Terry, do battle myself, so I really can't say. I like that I get to reference now, the actual look of the LJNs and actually have something to compare to. So that's pretty nice. Which Bulldog is that? Is that Dynamite? Looks like Davey Boy. Yeah. Injured Smith. You got Davey Boy there. I don't know, man. It's just so weird freaking seeing Davey Boy without the dreadlocks. Seeing him so young and with short hair, it's just so awkward. It's kind of funny because when you kind of hear WWF wrestling superstars, right? When you're talking about LJNs, and when you think about LJNs, really in reality, SD Jones is probably the only legitimate jobber. And when people talk about jobbers, around Series 3 is when people start saying, okay, you get a few jobbers in Series 3. And, they throw SD Jones out there, of course. And they throw guys like like Corporal Kirchner out there as like a jobber, but I don't know if you would really classify Corporal Kirchner as a jobber. I mean, he was supposed to be your Sergeant Slaughter replacement, right? And Sergeant Slaughter is like you know a mega superstar, and if Corporal Kirchner is supposed to be your Slaughter replacement, you know your All American hua hua guy, so how could he be? How could he be a jobber type? You know, he's supposed to be a superstar. But Coco Beware is supposed to be considered a superstar. But I put Coco Beware like barely one step above a jobber. So yeah, you could consider Coco Beware. You know, who was he? Like a Series 5 release. So or maybe a Series 4 release. So Coco Beware could technically be considered another jobber type among the LJNs. So, but then again, you could probably throw Nikolai Volkov as a jobber if you want. But I mean, shoot, he was a tag team champion, so I mean, not really. I don't think. But could you throw Hercules as a jobber? Maybe. Kind of looking at the LGN wall right now. So Corporal Kirchner, maybe Coco Beware, Hercules, SD Jones. So you do get a few jobbers from the LGN Wrestling Superstars line. Probably not like your Barry Horowitz and you know Lightning Kid, aka the Kid, former 1-2-3 Kid type, but I don't know. To me, Barry Horowitz really from childhood is really the only guy that I actually ever knew. Is really the only quote jobber that I could actually do by name. But there were so many guys, especially in the 80s, that were just on TV on a weekly basis, pretty much on a daily basis, really. And you know, people knew them by name, and they were as popular as you know your regular everyday superstars. But and it's true, there were so many guys that I saw on a weekly basis, but I just never knew them by name. I guess I never really paid attention because they weren't your run of the mill superstars. So I guess I didn't care as a kid. But Barry Horowitz was one of those guys that kind of stood out because I guess I always liked the fact that he always kind of clapped himself on the back. That kind of always stood out to me. And then later on, you know, he, you know, won a couple matches and, you know, he became like a little bit kind of like 1-2-3 Kid a little bit. And then later on, he was participating in Royal Rumbles and stuff. So that was kind of nice. All right, Macho. Tito out for the count and minus this title. Outstanding. You know, this magazine right here, the Mighty Man, Ted Arcidi. This right here is literally the first time I have ever laid eyes on Ted Arcidi. His LJN wrestling action figure is literally the first time I've ever seen Ted Arcidi, but in real life, I've never seen him in real life. And now that I've literally got a real life photograph to actually compare to, you know, even the fact that they got the socks, you know, the knee-high socks and everything, that's pretty freaking awesome. And, you know, for a 1980s toy store or toy company, you know what? They did a really awesome job in comparing the real life RCD to what they created. So that's pretty awesome. You know, the chest and the arms, yeah, really awesome work on that figure. Those muscles broke records. boxing match. New York with Piper and Mr. T. And Chicago. Yeah, so I was thinking that the Royal Rumble had a Big John Studd. Actually, either Studd or Andre. I wasn't sure who was gonna be the champion, but I would have assumed one of the two was gonna be the champion. I know Andre's like probably like a 7-time Battle Royal champion. So I mean, he's like one of the most winningest Battle Royal guys ever. You know, I've got a few different customs with the Heart Foundation in blue. So it's nice to have that comparison. You know what? I do remember Andre the Giant in yellow because I do remember a Battle Royal with him wearing yellow now. And that's what I'm talking about. You gotta see pictures and you gotta see movies because it does. And I've seen pictures. I've seen pictures. I've seen his action figures in him in yellow, and I've never recalled seeing him in yellow, not once. But now seeing him in this Battle Royal in yellow, for whatever reason, this Battle Royal brings back memories. And it brings back those memories of him in yellow. So I've seen this Battle Royal before, and I must have owned this tape as a kid. Our family must have owned this tape, and I must have seen this Battle Royal. And that's probably where I've seen Big John Studd before. Because I didn't grow up watching Big John Studd, but I had to have seen him before because I have memories of watching Big John Studd wrestle. And I didn't see him on TV ever, but I've seen him wrestle. So, like, there's a guy named, I think the Refrigerator or something, right? I don't know who the Refrigerator is, but, like, I know I've seen him in, like, a Battle Royal. And this is probably what it was from this probably the same event right here. I think the Refrigerator was like a Chicago Bears football player. Probably 1985 Chicago Bears Super Bowl champion. So, and that's probably where why he appeared in that. I'm assuming he appeared in this Battle Royal. Yeah, this is bringing back memories. Because I remember a guy named the Refrigerator appearing at a Battle Royal, and this being in Chicago, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, as I'm going through this Battle Royal, this is bringing up memories, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I gotta watch this now. I gotta watch this, and I gotta watch this Battle Royal. This is intriguing me. British Bulldogs take the title. Valentine's Eagle cost him, and Beefcake the championship. Oh, heck. Well, now I know how this plays out. Davey boy, you look so freaking weird, man. I can't get over the short hair. It just looks so awkward. And then LA with Bundy and Hogan in steel cage. Obviously, this is the one event outside of the Battle Royal that I'm really eager to see. And I'm glad I refilmed this episode because, man, the first time I filmed this, I was not happy with how that video turned out. Not at all. Oh, man. But I'm so much more pleased with how this is turning out. WWF Slammy Awards, bringing the house down. Okay, but what is the Slammy Awards? Like I said, I keep hearing people talk about the Slammy Awards, but I don't know what it is. I don't want to read this whole article while on camera, so I might have to do it off camera. But I was hoping like one of these little captions or something would depict what it was all about. Talk with Jimmy Hart. And we're not going to talk with Jimmy Hart. So this looks like this is going to be several pages long. I can do a little bit of everything and do it well. I could be a radio disc jockey if I wanted to be. I could be a producer if I'm versatile. Signs of the times. The Hammer Valentine. Bruce Court plays. That is fantastic. Volkov as a muffin head. Those are some awesome signs, man. That is fantastic. I don't know how I missed that the first time I went through this. Dog. Is he wearing a bra? Wow. Macho Man more sissy than Macho. Wow, God. Oh, God. Oh, man. I'm glad Macho Man never saw that. That is horrible. I need to make that like a... No, I can't do that to Macho. Oh, God. Well, who would do that, though? You put a bra on him. More sissy than Macho. That's horrible. Who's in the skirt? Boy George or girl Pipe? That ain't right. You can't bash Piper. I swear to God, those signs were like the best part of this entire magazine. Alright, so the first time I went through this magazine, I was not impressed. In fact, I was actually very angry the first time I went through this magazine. But going through it the second time around, I love that aspect of going through that whole battle royal. And those signs, this whole sign segment was absolute killer. So, all in all, this was actually a pretty phenomenal magazine. I didn't have anything to talk about the first time I went through this. And maybe I was just going through it too quickly. I don't know. But this turned out to be actually a sensational magazine. I'm actually really glad I redid the video, because it would have been crap the first time around. Guys, I am going to conclude this review here. Once again, this was the June-July 1986 magazine, as we looked at the aftermath of WrestleMania 2. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in for Sunday's magazine review video. And I will talk to you guys in the comments, and I will look forward to talking to you guys in the next video. As always, thanks again for tuning in. Until next time, take care, everybody.